Good luck to you. Right out there. Oh, well, you know, the right answer was iron. Inert means inactive or dull. But good luck to Daniel, who goes home with $32,000. Good for him. Right now, we've got 10 new contestants who called our 800 number and wound up right here. Who are they tonight? Let's find out. They are Jim Thompson, Portland, Oregon. Nicholas Dana, Grand Rapids, Michigan. Steve Cornman, St. Augustine, Florida. David McLean, Portland, Oregon. Joaquin Escora, New York City. Joe Dietrich, La Trobe, Pennsylvania. Mike Emery, Claremore, Oklahoma. Steve Calhoun, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Franco Esposito, Brooklyn, New York. And Rachel Hawkins, Forestville, Maryland. Okay, everybody, congratulations on getting this far. Now, here's how it works. In a moment, a question and 4 answers will appear on your screens. The one who puts those answers in the correct order, in the fastest time, will be our next player. Now, audience, we need complete silence here. Thank you. Here's that question. Put these actresses in order of their birth, starting with the earliest. Jodie Foster, Meryl Streep, Jane Fonda, Minnie Driver. Okay, everybody's finished here. Let's see the answer in the correct order, starting with the earliest, and it was Jane Fonda. Then Meryl Streep, Jodie Foster, Minnie Driver. Let's see who got it right. In the fastest time, the winner is Steve Cornman. Hey, Steve, congratulations. Good for you. We'll be right back. Steve Cornman going for $1 million.
When you fill...
And September 4th.
Steve Cornman, St. Augustine, Florida, is a teacher, an English teacher, and it's nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
Formerly owned a bookstore, went to Cornell University, married to a lady named Debbie.
That's right.
But sitting in the relationship seat is an old friend of ours who was just on our show, it seems, a couple of weeks ago, Judy Bartoletti. Nice to have you here, Judy. And let me explain the connection between Steve and Judy. Judy is a secretary at the same school Steve teaches at. We met her a couple of weeks ago. She won $64,000, and Steve was one of her lifelines, phone a friends.
Yes, she actually did phone me.
Oh, and you were the one that
got
got...
32,000. Yeah.
Good, good. And then you coincidentally got picked to do it yourself, huh?
Well, you know, before Regis, it was always some dream, like winning the lottery. Yeah, right. I'll get on.
Yeah.
But when Judy did it, it just made it more real. It made me, and I just called every day the phone line was open. Stayed by the phone for the window the next day to get the call. Just stayed positive, and I knew I'd get here. If it wasn't going to be now, it would be in 6 months or next year. But I knew it was going to happen, and it happened right away.
Oh, that's terrific. Judy, how you doing?
Oh, great.
It's nice to see you again. And
you too.
What did you do with your money?
Well, I told you I wanted to buy my husband the golf course.
He's managing a golf course, and you wanted to buy him the golf course.
We did.
You bought him the golf course. Where is this golf course?
West Palm Beach.
Where is the golf course?
West Palm Beach, Florida.
West Palm Beach, Florida. Not bad. Louis' own golf course.
I know. I think we might name it the Louis Country Club.
Could be. Why not? All right, fine. Well, it's good to see you again, Judy. And Steve, good luck to you. You know the rules. You know about the lifelines. 50-50. Ask the audience. Phone a friend. This is what you waited for, Steve. Here it is. Let's play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? For $100. Which of the following sounds would a frog most likely make? Gobble, croak, meow, Budweiser.
I think that's a trick question. One frog would probably croak.
Yeah, they'd croak. You're right. $200. When making a wish, which of these would you traditionally do for good luck? Hop on one foot. Whistle. Cross your fingers. Bert,
Let's see, cross your fingers.
cross your fingers. Final answer? Yeah, you'd cross your fingers. You're right. $300. Which of these is a slang term for a very smart person? Bedhead, egghead, cheesehead, dog breath.
A very smart person is an egghead. B, final.
There you go. You're right. Egghead is the right answer for a very smart person. $500. A person with asthma is most likely to have difficulty doing what? Breathing, tasting, hearing, see.
A person with asthma is most likely to have difficulty breathing.
Absolutely right. Breathing is the right answer. Here it is now for $1,000. Japanese ninjas are legendary for their skill in which of the following areas? Farming, sailing, assassination, finance.
Of those choices, the best choice is assassination. C.
Yeah, that's right, assassination. You won 1,000. All right, Steve, here it is for $2,000. You're 10 away from $1 million. Which Marx brother was characteristically silent in his movies? Chico, Zeppo, Groucho, Harpo.
That's D. Regis Harpo.
Final? Yeah, Harpo was the one. You won $2,000. Never said a word. $4,000, Steve. In June 2000, what comedian was hired as a commentator for ABC's Monday Night Football? Jerry Seinfeld, Drew Carey, Dennis Miller, Chris Rock.
That would be Dennis Miller. C. Final answer.
Yes, it's Dennis Miller. We're all looking forward to it. All the way up to $8,000 right now. The Latin word for feather is the source of what writing instrument's name? Pen, crayon, stylus, brush.
Well, I think I know this. Unfortunately, I think I know it's two of them.
Which ones you thinking of?
Well, crayon is French for pencil, so it's not crayon. Don't believe it's brush. Stylus is a writing instrument that they used. But I think that pen might be related to pin feathers on a bird.
The Latin word for feather.
I'm going to use a lifeline, Regis. And I believe I'm going to use the phone a friend.
All right. Who are we calling?
I want to call my wife, Debbie.
Debbie. Good. All right, fine. We need Debbie on the phone, AT&T. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, Debbie.
Yeah,
Regis Philbin calling here from ABC's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. How are you?
I'm fine, Mr. Philbin.
I'm here with your husband, Steve, and he's got a beautiful blonde in the audience with him.
I know.
I know you're old pals. Well, listen, he's kind of hung up on a question, needs your help.
Okay.
All right, feeling good?
About as good as I'm gonna get.
All right, I know it's kind of nerve-wracking to be waiting by that phone, but here he comes with the question, the 4 answers, one of them the right answer.
Okay.
All yours, Steve. Go ahead, 30 seconds.
Deb, the Latin word for feather is the source of what writing instrument's name? Pen or stylus?
Pen.
How sure are you, sweetheart?
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure?
Pretty sure.
Is that really pretty sure or just kind of pretty sure? Okay,
Kinda pretty sure.
thank you.
3 pretty sures mean pretty sure.
Well, Let's do it. A pen.
Well, you kind of thought it was pen too, didn't you?
I know about pin feathers, so I'm thinking. But she took Latin, I never did. Pen.
Final?
Yeah.
Got it for 8,000. We'll be back. He's going for $16,000 when we return.
Quick-witted.
August 31st at Chewy.
Steve Cornman, English teacher from St. Augustine, Florida. Nice to hear from Debbie. Came to the rescue there and was right. Penna is Latin for feather. And incidentally, Regis is Latin for of the king. And don't forget that.
Stephen is Latin for crowned one. So.
Really? No kidding?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right, fine. How did you meet? I think you met your wife, Debbie, in a sort of a trivia situation.
Yeah, I'm very fond of this kind of thing. Years ago, before the internet was in people's homes, she was living in Tennessee and I was living in Ithaca, New York, and we met playing trivia online. There used to be it's called Q-Link. It was an online network just for Commodore users.
Yeah.
We met playing trivia. 3 weeks after we met online, I went to Tennessee to visit her, and then the second day that I knew her in person, I proposed.
No kidding. And you got married right away?
So far, it's worked out very well.
Yeah. All right, here's where you stand. You've won $8,000. You're going for 16 with 7 away from the million, and you've got 2 lifelines left. Let's play. Okay, Steve. Here it comes for $16,000. Members of which U.S. industry formed a secret society of workers called the Molly Maguires? Lumberjacks, steel workers, fishermen, coal miners.
Well, I'm glad that 12 years working at a video store paid off, because there was a movie with Sean Connery called The Molly Maguires, and they were coal miners. Indeed, final answer.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It paid off for you. Wasn't Richard Harris in that one too? Molly Maguires?
See, I never actually watched the movies, Regis. I just know the boxes.
Okay, good. All right, so here we go now. Very important level, $32,000. Let's hope you make it. What band's debut album featured an illustration of a banana created by Andy Warhol? Led Zeppelin, Velvet Underground, Talking Heads, Pink Floyd.
Kind of wish I'd gone with my instincts on the feather.
A banana created by Andy Warhol.
Well, if I were a 32 and out of lifelines, I know what I'd guess, but it's not very sure.
Well, you can ask the audience if you like.
Very intelligent looking audience, too.
Aren't they?
Absolutely.
They also look wealthy to me. Let's kiss up as much as we can.
Let's. If they're that wealthy, if I miss it, I'll take up a collection. Let's ask the audience, please.
All right, fine. Audience, we need some help here. On your keypads, using A, B, C, or D, please vote now. Oh, boy, that's a...
Thanks, guys.
That's a split if ever I've seen it there. 32, 27, 20, and 21. Led Zeppelin in the lead.
Just the person to call, too, if I had my phone a friend. 50-50, please.
Why don't we do that? Computer, take away 2 of those wrong answers, leaving 1 wrong answer and the correct one. So there you go. 27% of the audience thought it was Velvet Underground. They came in second, and Talking Heads came in last, but they're still in the running here. So it's between Velvet Underground, Talking Heads.
See if I can talk it out. No, apparently not.
Trying to think of a banana. Either one of these 2 groups.
I was at grad school at State University of Binghamton in the mid to late 80s, and Talking Heads were legendary there because they used to play bar gigs across the street before they got to be famous. So that must have been late 70s, maybe early 80s. Velvet Underground, I really should know something about.
Why is that?
Because I need the money.
Well, I thought they were another memory you might have. No, and Talking Heads, Velvet Underground.
Okay. Talking Heads was pretty alternative. David Byrne did a lot of the control himself. He had the giant white suits with the big shoulders and did very creative videos. I got this deep feeling that, without knowing much about it, Velvet Underground was very artsy, very New York, very Soho, which would tie in with Andy Warhol. So they're both good answers. If I stop, $16,000 would be very nice, but I'm not only throwing away the 32, I'm throwing away the chance for everything past that.
Meanwhile, your students are very, very impressed with your knowledge of the music scene from years
I hope
ago.
they'll be a little more impressed in a minute. I really thought the audience looked smart, too. No offense. Okay.
Debut album.
The Velvet Underground.
Velvet Underground. Almost hate to ask you this, but I got to. Gonna make it your final answer?
Anybody ever say no?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
I think Talking Heads started in the early 80s. Velvet Underground was probably earlier. Warhol was really active in the 60s and 70s. Final answer B.
Got it for $32,000. Yeah. Well, we struggled, but we're still in the game. And you got to that $32,000 level. That's a good one. But now all the lifelines are gone.
Let's not focus on that,
Nope.
okay?
No, just want you to know that. But look, here it is, $64,000. Let's take a look, okay? Here it comes, $64,000. Who did President Lincoln first ask to be field commander of the Union forces at the outset of the Civil War? George McClellan, Ulysses S. Grant, Irvin McDowell, Robert E. Lee.
Synchronicity. Just last night at the hotel, finished reading Jeff Shara's book on the beginning of the Civil War. The first Union commander who actually took command, I believe, was George McClellan. But the first one asked was definitely Robert E. Lee. Final answer.
You sure?
Yeah, for
Too
sure.
late now to change it. You're right. It's Robert E. Lee for $64,000. Yeah, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. He's going for $125,000.
Hosting it. Come this year.
Steve, hand was shaking there. $64,000. Did you notice Steve's hand giving it this there? It's a lot of money, $64,000.
It would be a lot of money.
Nice bonus to your high school teaching salary, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Now, Judy went out and bought herself a golf course. What are your plans?
One thing we'd like to do, if I win more, hopefully, is get an RV. We'd like to travel with our dogs. Also, we could have used one last year when Hurricane Floyd came by. They thought it was going straight for us at the last minute. It veered out to sea and went to North Carolina.
Oh.
Seems like they all do lately.
Yeah, lucky for you.
But in the meantime, we were in a mandatory evacuation. We had a medium-sized station wagon. My stepson went with us. We had 3 people ranging from 5'10" to 6'2", 2 50 to 60-pound dogs, and 4 cats sleeping in our station wagon in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And one of the cats would always want to sleep in the cat box.
Had the cat box too.
Well, we had a little cardboard box with litter.
Yeah.
But she wasn't moving. So that was about 9 months ago, and we're still leaving the windows open on the car.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So an RV would be a good thing to have.
We got to get a new
like
RV, no doubt about
Oh,
it.
yeah, for sure.
Judy, what's it like to sit back there with a good friend up here, as opposed to sitting up here
The
yourself?
pressure's off in this seat. The pressure's off.
A lot easier back
Oh,
there.
yeah, and he's much smarter than I am. So
But I can still see you back there pulling for
Oh,
him.
I want him to do so well.
All right, Steve, here we go now. Again, no lifelines, but you'll lose $32,000 if you miss here. Well, let's take a look at it now for $125,000. Let's play. In the classic 1954 film, Them, what creatures terrorized hounds in the U.S. Southwest? Rattlesnakes, centipedes, giant ants, tarantulas. You say you worked in that movie video store, right?
Uh-huh.
Is that going to come in handy here, I hope?
Well, what comes in handy is living in Florida, because we have these sea giant ants. Final answer.
Yeah, you got him, and you're right. $125,000. You believe it? You're 3 away from $1 million. We're going to change your life right here, right now, tonight.
Kind of nice. I like it.
I'll bet it is. Gotta tell you, though, you missed $93,000. I know you don't want to hear it, but I have to tell you that. But we're looking at a question now, Steve, worth $250,000. Here it is. In a standard deck of playing cards, the one-eyed jacks are in which 2 suits? Hearts and spades, diamonds and clubs, clubs and hearts, spades and diamonds.
Well, I know what I want to say. It involves walking. Because I used to play poker with my buddies, but it was half a penny a chip, not $250,000. It was a while ago. You know, just before I flew up here, I was playing the computer game.
Yeah.
The CD-ROM game, which is available at a store near you. Good training.
You mean the one with my face on the cover?
That's the one.
Yeah, I heard about that game.
And in that game, I would go ahead. But $125,000 looks pretty good. And besides, if I win that, then the headlines in St. Augustine will say Steve and Judy win. If I go back to 32, they're going to say Judy and Steve.
Well,
I might buy 2 golf clubs.
yeah.
The other 9 people I have here with me today are all wonderful people. They're great people, and they want their chance, and they deserve it. And I guess that's a rationalization, but it's too much money to throw away on a guess.
Alrighty, we understand.
I am going to walk all the way home.
All right, good for you. Here's a check for. But let's take a guess right now. Here's your check for $125,000. What would the answer be?
I always said sitting at home I'd intentionally give the wrong answer, so they go, boy, he was smart to stop. Instead of, what an idiot, he could have had $250,000. Diamonds and clubs.
No, it was hearts and spades. But hey, $125,000. Good for you, Steve. Good luck to you, okay? Hope you enjoy it. Another great night for the nation's oldest city. Steve Cornman, Judy Bartoletti from St. Augustine, Florida. Yep, that's going to be a happy high school down there. And we'll be right back after this. Y'all...
One 818.
Welcome back, everybody. We still have 9 more contestants ready to